Okay, Ryan Ahmed with you in this lesson, and this is lesson 3 in TCL TK with MySQL database, and it's about the school management system or software. Okay, so it's here we're talking about the script about adding a new student and adding a new teacher. Now, the add new student script is now running in this window I'm holding, I'm rotating. Okay, and there is also the add new teacher script. Okay, that's here. It's very much the same, because all I've done is that because you're talking just about the person and you're taking only his name, his address, his telephone, and his date of birth. You're not taking anything special. Okay, in addition to whether he is having a salary, for example, in the teacher's term. Okay, I did not add a salary for him. So all I was just explain is the student script, and you will deduce from yourself that the student script is the same of the teacher script, and only thing you have to do is just replace the word student by the word teacher in that script and copy the file. That's all. Okay, now I will start from the design of the window here. Okay, so we'll know what to do later with this window. So to know what we will do in this window. Okay, so we must start always from here. Okay, because I always divide my code, okay, in a way that the basic commands, the major commands that insert the new student or the teacher, okay, is in a different paragraph in the text file. Okay, on the top. Okay, and I put always the widget stuff at the bottom. Okay, this way is better for your reading. Okay, now here I have the WM command, okay, which is a command that calls the window manager. Okay, and I'm saying to the window manager that resizing the window, okay, like what I will do here, like this, okay, or the other way around, okay, is not allowable, because I've done for both the height and the width of the window, okay, to be not resizable by setting them both as 0. Okay, if you set 1, okay, in the digits here, okay, and if you set 1, for example, here and over, if you'd like for the height here, okay, so it will be resizable. It will allow resizing. Okay, so just 1 means switch resizing on, okay, on the side that you want. Okay, so if you want here 1, this side will be resizable. If you change this also to 1, this side will be resizable. Okay. Now, and I've done that because it's just a small form. It doesn't have to be that big form. Okay, and then I made like a combination. Okay, or not really a combination. It's just like an alias for both buttons of the enter. Okay, I may name it my enter here, but my enter is either one of those of the two buttons, KP enter, which is the keyboard keypad enter, which is the number pad enter. Okay, on the number pads, this is where are the numbers on the right side. Okay, and the return, which is the normal usual one at the center of the keyboard. Okay, and both of them belong to the enter, my enter. Okay, and this is how to define an alias for different buttons. Okay, so I say event add, I make a new one and just use two angled arrows, okay, and put the name of the alias, okay, which is my enter, and this is what I will be calling later in the bind command, as in here. See, I'm not gonna say use the kp enter and replace it here. I just use my enter and it will mean either one of those. Okay. Okay, next thing, label.studentName lab, okay, which is this label here, student name. See, it's written here, student name, and this entry is student name int. Okay, so the dot is important, by the way, for those who don't know. It is the main window. Okay, I love you to, or I recommend that you read or watch the videos of programming in TCL that I've made. Okay, so this is the window named dot. Okay, the main window when you type wish. Okay, now later or then if you want to add more widgets, you have to use the commands like label and entry, and then underneath the dot you'll have the new entry or the label, okay, or any widget that you named. Now and this is how you define the text on that label here, and the label has no meaning, by the way, just a way just to tell this our user of this script, okay, that this field means student name. Okay, and the entry is this field, okay, and its name, the student name underscore int. And by the way, notice that I'm using underscore lab and underscore int, things like this, just to make it easier for you later in a big script to read, and you don't have to go up and down, okay, up and down, what is this, what is this, okay, going like this. Okay, you don't have to go, oh, I'm reading here, oh, what's this, so just go down. I have to know, I must have to go, okay, no, sorry, I must go down then to read the variable down there, okay, and know what is it about. So it's better just to add some kind of abbreviation, okay, so you don't have to read the and find out what's this code about. Next, I made a binding to the key pressing of my enter, okay, which is either one of the kp enter or the return. Okay, and I always love to add this, okay, and I recommend it very much, like anytime, because you know we're used to press enter, okay, so anyone would go, but in programming, no, in TCL you have to define them both, so it's better just to add them, okay, whether you need it or not, just put it, okay. You don't know when will you later need it, okay. And what I've done is that focus, okay, to the address entry, which is this one. So what I've done is, in reality, okay, it's the same for the telephone lab, okay. So just and the entry of the telephone. So I just press enter. Every time I press enter, it just moves down, okay. so just changes the focus from this entry to this entry to this entry. Okay. So the command focus means that I move the cursor or the focusing, okay, from the current one to the student telephone entry here. Okay, if I were for example here, now I am in student address entry. So this is just done for easy data entry. And you know, this is the telephone, so much the same. Okay, no need to repeat. And I have a label named the student date of birth, which is this one. And I'm making like an option menu. And why did I select an option menu instead of this combo box? Is that an option menu is much more fixed in the numbers. Okay, although you can make this read only, but I'd love that to keep this freer. Okay, so somebody would add any other number than the listed, you don't know. And maybe it's easy for him to type the number, then find it. So yeah, so I've done is that, like, having the date of birth, the day part of it is fixed, and you know, it's like 31 days, and it got 12 months, same. But regarding the combo box here for the years, is that I made it like 120 years since current year. Okay, going back from the current year. Okay, so it's like now it's 2010. Okay, you go back 1891. Okay, now yes, so later we will have this variable, the DOB day and the DOB month are the global variables that will be accessed later in the command that will run after firing the event of clicking this button, add new student. Okay, now this is how I filled the combo box, and I'd love you to watch the combo box lesson, how did I fill it, and I will explain it here again. I've done, like, this is the current year, and this is how to get it and how to format it. So it starts with, like, from the clock, the current clock, okay, get the number of seconds since 1970, okay, and reformat the clock, okay, and get the year part of the clock. Okay, so %y means get me the year part of the clock, and the output of clock format will be given to the current year. So now to fill the combo box, I must have an empty list variable. So I start with this empty list variable, so I call it list of years, and I said set the counter, okay, for, like, I start, for example, from the current year, okay, -1, which is now it's 2011, okay, but I started from current year -1, okay, which is 2010, okay, and I always check whether it is still greater than the current year minus 120 years, okay, so do not, like, reach the year 120th before this current year, okay. And and I always change the counter, okay, downwards. So I always decrement it by 1. This is increment I minus 1 means always go backwards, okay, and decrement. So go like 10, 9, 10, 9 is 8, etc. Okay, in this fashion. So every time I reassign every time the for loop executes, okay, the list of years list variable will be reassigned, okay, the older value of the list variable, so you get the older list, okay, and always append to it, okay, at the end, of course, the current count in the years. So that's why I get this list like this, okay, and countdown way, okay. After it finishes this insertion, okay, I take the combo box command and create a widget called student date of birth year, okay, and I say that the values in this list, moving, scrolling up and down, is the list that I've created from here, okay. So the last assignment, okay, after the exiting of the for loop, okay, for the variable list of years, okay. So the list of years, okay, list variable will be the menu inside the combo box, okay. And then I suggest the width of the characters is just like 6 characters here. I'm allowing 6 characters, okay. And the text variable, if we'd like to use it, is the date of birth here, but it has no meaning. It just changes this text area, or text entry inside the text in the combo box, but it has no meaning other than that, okay. Doesn't mean that this the things that you chosen, okay. Next, I'm adding the button, okay. Okay, and I'm adding the text on the button, which is add new student, which is here, and then I say the command, which is add student, which is a procedure I will later at the end of the recording you see its explanation, okay. And then through those lines, okay, you can imagine a table and the rows and the columns inside the table, okay, and you can just guess that this is where I put the label at this row and this column, okay. Sticky means that it should be the contents of this cell at this row and this column, okay, will be to the west, okay. So means to the left of your screen, okay, or your left right hand, okay, left hand, okay. So it's just to the west. Now column span means that I have to cover the empty spaces left, okay, after I put the entry or the widget, sorry. So for example here you see this has 1, 2, 3, 4 widgets, okay, but here I have 1 and 2, okay. So just to make that the entry here covers all this empty area, okay, from this menu and this combo box, okay, to cover that area above them, okay, you just use column span, okay. You just try whether it's a 3 or 4, it's always tricky, Okay, so because you need to cover the correct spacing. Maybe you'll find that you're getting an additional space that you did not need. Now, and yes, we now, after we said that grid add student button, the last thing. Okay, now even if you did not say add student procedures, not really it does not have any content inside, just write that there is a procedure there. Okay, at least you'll find that this is my interface and how it looks like. Okay, now as we said, if you click on the add new student, it must call this procedure, and this is our own procedure, this one. Okay, and this one works, okay, by the need of the connection that's made by the package require MySQL TCL. Okay, because this is our client's NTCL to MySQL. Now, of course, you have to create a handler for the connection, and these are the details of your connection. This is where your server is located, at which IP. Localhost means this the application and the server software is or are at the same computer, okay, or at the same machine. Okay, and this is the username and the password. Okay, now this is all still a demonstration. It's not a real application. Okay, so don't think of the passwords or anything. Okay, and you won't be able to hack it. I'm just kidding. So next thing is that I'm saying what database I'm using. So if you remember from our lesson 2, yes, lesson 2, the database design, is that like you use this way in MySQL just to change from what database to refer to which tables, okay, that you want in which database. Okay, so it's like you have a folder and the tables are like files, so you have to move to that folder which is having all those files. Okay, and it's in reality it is a folder. Okay, the school is a folder, which is a database with respect to or in the perspective of MySQL. Now this variable and this and yes, the date of birth, day and the month, okay, are outside the procedure. Okay, so I have to back this just a minute. Okay, and you see that the date of birth, day, and the date of birth, month are outside the procedure add student. So, and the MySQL handler as well. So this means that I must use the word global, so to be able to catch the definition of my connection, okay, and the date of birth, day, the currently one selected. Here it's 1. If I change it, maybe it's like 9, and the date of birth month similarly, maybe it's like 11. Okay, so it changes as long as I change this. Okay, until I click the button here. Okay, it will take what's inside the selected ones. This is clear. This is very obvious. Now, what I've done is I use the entry subcommand get, okay, and I call every entry, the name entry, the address entry, and the student telephone entry, okay, just to create some kind of temporary variables inside the procedure add student, and just to copy the values because it will be to look cluttered later. Okay, and this is what I will do just a little bit, just to separate the codes, just to tell you that this is just a way to see things better. Okay, so as if I'm defining those temporary variables, Okay, so I don't have to write all this. Okay, just I will use this shorter name. Okay, and I will do my own data validation, which is I must check whether the telephone is a digit number, and if there is if there's something wrong, like for example if I said like cluck. Okay, this is just what text. So if I just like add new student, and maybe I just added some kind of name here, because it will complain, of course, because it will complain that it is empty, is not allowing any empty data, and maybe in some kind of Lebanon, as I live, where I live, I mean. And see, if I say like student telephone, it's just going to be telling you, it will tell you that this is not a telephone number. Okay, so I've done all kind of important validations, like using this command string is digit. We will check whether this is a digital number. Okay, whether it's a number. Okay, and if it's 0, it means yes, it is not a digit. If it's 1, it is. Okay, if the date of birth month is February, number 2, and the date of birth is greater than 29, okay, February cannot be more than 29. Okay, I do not check for the leap year. Okay, so I have also the date of birth here. I'm getting it, okay, because I must. Here it's taken as a text entry. This is how we deal with a text box, and with a combo box, sorry. And this is how I am making the variable named date of birth, which is the combination, of course, of the year, then the month, and the day, and I add between them the hyphen, okay, the dash, because this is how MySQL is by default, or works by default. Now this is the moment here, you know, this is the important step. Now first of all, before I execute the insertion, I better, okay, and I prefer always just to put the query, the SQL query, in a different variable, on a separate variable, okay, away from the execution command, okay, of the SQL query, because it's much convenient and much easier to handle. Maybe you want to change all this, okay, just use that variable and you go on. Okay, you don't have to rewrite the next one. Okay, somebody would say to me, oh, this is like you know, what you've done, nothing much. Okay, yes, but just using this way, it will tell you that this is your query. Okay, this is where you just should replace your query. Okay, and maybe you have so many queries. Okay, so you need to know what this query is all about. But this is the whole application. It's just one and only one query. There's no more. That is just insert into a student. Okay, so I have to add the name and the address and the telephone and the date of birth. Okay, now this is how you say I have a name, I have an address, and I have a telephone. Of course, now the telephone is a varchar value. Therefore, what you have to do is that put the telephone variable inside a single quote, like here. Okay, and what I really wanted to talk about is that if you skip or omit the single quotes, the number, there's like those which start with a leading 0, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, for example. Okay, now if you omit the single quotes, okay, the telephone number will be without the zeros. Okay, so all the zeros here will be omitted, okay, and will be cancelled. So all that will be inserted is this number 1, 2, okay, 1, 2 until 8. So this is a mistake, okay, a common mistake, so don't do it, okay, because MySQL can accept it. And moving next to the next line, here I'm using MySQL exec to execute my own query, which is this one, and connecting using the MySQL handler, which is the variable we talked about, that is here. Okay, so just also as a repetition, okay, any varchar must be, or any date even, must be put between a single quote, okay, 2 single quotes, okay, like here I'm saying this is my date of birth in a single quote. And the command values, okay, that's part of the insert SQL, okay, will be the one that holds the true values that will be saved into the database and the student table. Okay, now if you recall our student table, you know that there is an ID that should be mentioned here for those who would complain. There is an ID here, okay, but why I did not save it, okay, and why I did not write a new ID for it? Because all we've done is making that column an auto increment number. Okay, so when you put it like this, it will generate for you the new number. So if the last record was 3, the next one will be 4, okay, for the next record at the field ID, okay. But if I want to add it, okay, I must do this and just say this is $ID like this, okay, on the assumption that you have already defined ID as an entry that you read from here, for example, or by any other means. But of course you must have defined ID, okay. Now the next thing is this line, which tells us what's the next, or what's the new number, okay, that has been generated, okay, because it's the insert ID command from the MySQL CL library, okay. It will tell you the last insert ID, and if it's the and if you have an auto increment value, it will be the auto increment value, okay, it's the same. Okay, so by connecting to our through our connection handler, you can also, just for as a reminder, have as much as you want of different connection handlers, and every connection handler means that you are taking a different channel, of course not channels of the command open etcl. So it's just taking the different channels, for example server, maybe somewhere in Office 1 and the other one is Office 2, so this way you are making like a direct copy, okay, of the inserted data right on. And right away I'm telling him the new student ID, okay, by taking the value that comes out from this command and saving it into this variable, okay. Now the student name entry and the address entry and the telephone entry, okay, they are all having delete, okay, from the first index in them, in each of them, until the last index in it, which means the first character until the last character in them, which means in the end, okay, clearing the data inside them. Okay, and that's all about our code for now. Okay, the teacher's code is, as we said in the start, is very much the same. It is the very much identical one. All I've done is just replace the word student with the word teacher. Okay, and thanks for watching, and please comment and also subscribe. Please subscribe with a known ID. I'd love to know from where you are connecting, okay, and know who are connecting to me, and I accept all the questions that I can answer, okay, and I'll answer them. And thank you for watching.